Let's start the leadership then. Okay, I'll go ahead and share my screen. We'll take a look. Let's see who should be here that's not here yet. I think. Oh, Nadine. Okay, let's probably see Nadine in just a little bit. Okay, I think today we can talk about reducing the frequency of the leadership meets. That's probably a good topic. So we'll probably do twice a week instead of 3 times a week, and then we'll see how that goes. How do you guys feel about that? Is now a good time to do less frequency, or would you guys prefer to have more frequent leadership development? Let's go over to Aldo first.
I think it should be good with the less frequency, but so the discussion is should be more uh, uh, should be more good and should be better. I think.
Okay, all right. So if we focus, um, better discussions. Okay, let's go over to Lilith. Lilith, what do you think?
Yes, I think reducing the frequency to twice a week is good. But actually, I have a question for the new mentors. I mean, like the new assigned mentors. What about them actually?
Oh, good point. Wow, I might have to do a new batch, or you guys will have to teach them how to mentor. Uh,
No, no.
the reason the sort of the direction we're going here at Lilith is to make this sort of a continuous service. So it just runs as a service in the company, meaning that ideally the service can run itself, like the way that Scrum meetings run. There's always a new topic people want to talk about. There's a good mix of people who are more experienced and people who can lead, people who can follow. And then we rotate the leadership duties so that it always, like happy hour, it becomes just part of our culture to do this. So, yeah, I realized, yeah, we have a new round of mentors. And they're not here yet, actually. That's a good point. Maybe, hmm, maybe for new people, well, maybe what we'll do is this we'll keep three, and then the new people will attend three. And then if you're more senior, you can just attend two. How's that sound? Like so that'll be more for like advanced and beginners. Hey, welcome in, Rizal. How you doing?
Morning, sir. Morning, everyone.
Okay, Lilith. I need a reminder. Who are the new mentors now?
I think Bayu and VD, but I don't know for Sin is in HR, right? So it should be
Ah,
Anna.
right. Sin is
So
under
it
Ara's
should
mentorship now.
be Bayu and VD.
Bayu and Vidi. Oh yeah, they should come in. Okay, all right. Let's see. Uh, Bayu has some leadership experience already. So does Vidi, but we definitely want them to learn too as well. Okay, I'll do this. How about this? Well, let me hear Rizal's opinion too as well. Rizal, we're thinking about reducing the frequency of meeting from 3 times a week to twice a week. What do you think?
Yes, I agree, sir. Because in every morning we already have a more lot of sync up. Maybe we can reduce that.
Okay, all right, got it. Okay, yeah, let's try to do this. The idea of doing more sync ups here is actually so that we can do less sync ups everywhere else, partially. So if we do more sync ups here, then when we actually sync up during the scrum, it's a bit more focused, right? We land exactly on what we need to talk about. All right. So here's my proposal. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do Monday and Friday, and we don't do the Wednesday one? See how that goes this week, and hopefully you guys will feel more confident, and it'll show in your leadership capabilities. Sound good? Okay, all right. So what I'll do is I'll go to the calendar. I'll delete the Wednesday one for you guys, and then I'll keep running that for people who are, let's say, feel like they might need it or something, like new mentors and such. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So that's a little bit of administration. So that one we'll remove the Wednesday one for you guys, but we'll keep it for, let's say, the new mentors. And let's take a look. All right, Lilith. Let's see. What do you have to talk about, Lilith? All right, where's Lilith's comment? Okay, these both are Aldo. Sorry. All right, Lilith. Any topics that you feel inspired to speak about today?
Hmm. Actually, I didn't have any topics, only updates. Oh, okay. So, regarding, I have one, sir.
Mhm.
Regarding, actually, for Frida now, Tendi is working with Frida, and then Wayan also working with Frida. So, actually, the question is, what about working cross chapter? I mean,
Great
not,
question.
yeah, not really supporting the chapter mission, but helping the other chapter basically.
Okay, great. So what I'd like you to do, Lilith, is to go ahead and write that on the discussion paper notes. Yeah. So what do we do when there are, let's say, cross-chapter assignments for our mentees? So there is the link right there, and please put that topic on the discussion. I think that would be a great discussion topic. Let's go next to Aldo. Aldo, any updates on your side for Haspi?
Updates or discussion, sir?
Or just updates so that we can discuss. So the more efficient way to do this is instead of doing like an update on each card, sort of like just tell us what you would like to. We'll take a look at your cards and try to discover if there's anything that is valuable, that is discussion worthy. But if there's anything that you'd like to bring up too, it's a good time to insert that. Okay. So any topics that you'd like to discuss?
For the thing that I want to bring up, I think the same with Lilis because Hasbi is currently supporting the FBO is supporting the mission of revenue of business intelligence. So I think working trust chapter is a good topic to discuss.
Mhm.
And for the update itself, I think Hasbi will get some coaching from Jing about the SEO one and also about the professional networking. He's doing good for pivoting the profile of things that not capable for professional networking. I think it's good. But I don't have much update because I will do pairing for Hasbi tomorrow to see his progress and his correction.
Okay, got it. Interesting. All right, I'm going to bring up a topic, which is this for Aldo, which is uh, how to like look at Trello cards and decide if your intern or mentee is making progress. So sort of like monitoring using Trello. I think that would be a good topic of discussion. So I'll go ahead and put that up here. So we'll talk about monitoring progress. Monitoring progress. Let's talk about it broadly, and then let's talk about the tools that we can use to monitor progress. Okay, great. Rizal, you're here as VCL. Same as Lilith, actually. Are there any topics that you'd like to talk about from a leadership perspective?
For me, basically, these are so like um yeah, basically when I'm not attending, so has been like joining the business intelligence sync up right on the last Friday, I believe, and unfortunately I don't see much update from Hasbi because Hasbi is not uh very updating her his progress probably. And yeah, my friction is I cannot see Hasbi progress when he have a
Mm,
link up with RM. So yeah, basically just
okay,
what will I do on my side? Yeah.
excellent, excellent. Okay, all right, terrific. Self-reporting. All right, hey, Bayu, welcome in. So, congratulations, Bayu.
Morning.
I think you're one of the mentors now for I think for what was it Joseph, right, on finance.
No, we haven't decided.
Oh, okay, all right. Let's have a talk about that. So basically, this is about mentorship and leadership, and it's about kind of understanding a little bit more what we're doing well and what we need some help with. So we're going around and getting discussion topics right now for things that people are uncertain of. Let's go over to you, Bayu. Is there anything that, let's say, sits on your plate at the moment on things where you're unsure of in leadership or mentorship or developing other people?
Mm, I'm not sure actually. Pro- I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just I think because of this a lot of discussion about this about leadership. So uh, we just need to let people lead themselves. Basically, it's
Hmm.
uh, I think we lately we are relying too much on developing a leader, but we cannot really do anything if that person don't want to lead themselves basically. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah, I think uh, for me it's always like we just a regular team. If you are doing good, you can lead, then that's good. That I can yeah, you can just lead me, so something like that. Instead of like just uh, I'm leading you to be a leader, something like that. It's much more effort and higher expectation, but sometimes the result is not that good.
Okay. All right. That's an interesting topic. That's an existential topic. Should we even have this particular class? Let's go around and discuss it and see what the feedback from the groups of people here are. So, anything else, buddy, that you'd like to discuss?
Uh, not for now.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at this first then. Okay. So we have a little bit more time today. So let's take a look at the three topics that we want to dive into. One is okay. If a mentee does work cross chapter, how should we manage that mentee on the chapter mission? The second is how do we monitor progress? The tools that we can use, and what are the expectations for self monitoring? And the third is should we even have a class like this? Does this actually help develop leaders, or is it getting in the way? Okay, let's start with Lewis's question. How the mentee works cross chapter. Lewis, do you have any initial thoughts on that?
Mm, actually, I'll just bring it to the group, sir. I don't have any opening for this.
Okay, all right. Let's go over to Rizal. Rizal, any thoughts on that?
From the Lily Strat, sir.
Mm,
Hmm. Yeah, it's basically um, I think from my side is it's still good because um, yeah, we still have a core value that helping others first, right? And
okay.
I think it's pretty good. And yeah, basically we just need prioritize from is it from our chapters itself is it is if we still close with the mission or we still far with the mission. If we still far, and yeah, I think we will prioritize our chapter first, but it will if it's close with the uh, chapter mission, yeah, it's fine when work with the other chapter. So
Okay, all right. So if it aligns, then it's good. Okay, all right. Let's go over to Bite. Bite, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that. Mostly because this uh, will create an extra work basically, and using extra time. So if it's not related or just for the mentorship sake only, then it's not that good. I think it should be they should work on at least similar thing, or yeah, one project or one chapter, so that it's not a theoretical mentorship, but it's practical mentorship.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, all right. Let's go over to Aldo. Aldo, what are your thoughts?
I think working with other chapter is good to them for other chapters mission, but also same with Mas Rizal that the interns need to have the prioritization for the works. if it's not if there's something more important within the chapter, I think it goes with their chapter first. But maybe collaborating the works between the chapter is also a good idea too.
Mm,
So it supports the both missions of the chapters.
okay, all right. Sounds like we might have a good prioritization discussion, right? Working between chapters is good. Prioritizing the chapter first is also good. So, what? Let's add some more flesh around this topic. Let's go over to Lilith. Lilith, can you give me an example of, let's say, how we're balancing Frida right now? So she's on the business intelligence side of let's say that's her home chapter. What other projects is she working on, and are those projects actually related to supporting business intelligence?
Okay, so the project that she working on business intelligence is the listing on Traveloka and also the webinar for data science. Yes, it's supporting the chapter mission, but actually, the progress is a little bit slow. That's why when someone asked me, for example, Wayana and Tendi asked me, uh, can I ask Rida to join my project just like that? Because maybe they see that Rida has some spare time. So actually, that's the basic why people not re- I don't know why people are asking Frida, but I think the intern because Caroline is also joining the Tendy project, which is the community because the community don't have any intern, right?
Okay, all right. Frida
Yeah. So,
going to HAR. And fine.
community, sir. Sorry.
Frida's going to community, or Caroline's going to community, right?
Both of them going to community to help Tendi basically.
Excellent.
And for the finance itself, actually, because her background is finance, so Wayana thinks that Frida will be good to help her on the what is that tax side.
Interesting. Okay, all right. So Frida helping Wayana on tax. Okay, all right. Okay. On tax. Okay, all right. Interesting. Okay, let's take a look at that. Let's go over to Aldo. Aldo, what is has to be working on outside of the chapter?
Hasbi is working on actually from the long-term page is it's supporting both marketing and business intelligence side.
Okay.
And for the working outside chapter is maybe the professional networking that on the HR stack. And I think that's
Ah,
all from the chapter.
okay, got it. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see. Hey, welcome in, Nadine. How you doing? Okay,
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
excellent. So the topic right now is what happens if the mentee is working cross-chapter. That's not directly related to the chapter's mission. How should we organize this? So, do you feel like you're experiencing this case yourself, Nadine?
So far, not, sir, but I do agree with Aldo actually. Prioritization.
Okay, got it. All right, so let's talk about the prioritization then. Currently, we have three levels of organization, right? So we can say that we have a project, let's say missions, and these are organized at pivot level, right? And then we have a chapter mission, and these are organized at sort of initiative level. And then we have a company mission, and that's organized at chapter mission level, right? All right. So let's take a look at that. How should we prioritize? So this is one way, right? This is prioritizing by mission. There's also the possibility of prioritizing by time, right? There's time things that are, let's say, urgent, not urgent. And I guess those are the only sort of two. And then maybe by importance. Not important and important. Okay. So are there any other dimensions? Let's go over to Byte. Are there any other dimensions, Byte, that we can prioritize by?
Oh, wait. Oh yeah. Okay. Mm, I don't know. I can't think of any for now.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's take a look then. Let's go over to Lilith. Lilith, what are your thoughts? Is there any? Lilith was about to get up. Lilith, is there any other dimensions that we can prioritize by mission level, by time and importance level? Is there any other sort of way that we need to think about prioritization?
Skills. I mean the mentees capability.
Capability. Yes. Okay. All right. Skill and focus. Right. Okay. Skill. There's also okay. All right. Good. Let's even go to the mentees level, right? Because this is sort of like at the mentee level, which is there's a few skill and their ultimate purpose for being here as well, right? Those are also some dimensions of prioritization. Let's go over to Aldo. What other dimensions of prioritization are there?
I think this three is already a prioritization matter, sir.
Okay, all right, good. Let's take a look at some of these prioritizations. So let's say this one, Aldo, I came up with this idea, right? For developing has-to-be skill on HR. The reason I thought this would actually be helpful is exactly the same reason why we have the internship selection page. Are you guys aware of the internship selection page? Aldo, have you seen the internship selection page?
I think the one that filling up the description of the video.
Yes, exactly. So this is an exercise that we delegate to interns who have not even begun at Bukit Vista. So this is a design to actually help with a few things, right? So this is where we believe one stone can kill three birds, so to speak. So let's say Lilith, right? We have a new intern that wants to onboard at Bukit Vista. So what we could do is we could say, all right, here's all the training material, blah, 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 blah. But what we, or here's what we do. We have a lot of videos from all our sync ups, right? Most of these videos right now, they do not have titles or descriptions on it, even though we have notes. And decide, okay, let's just leave it that way. So what we're gonna do is this now becomes an exercise for all interns coming on board at Bukit Vista. So what they'll do is they'll watch one of these 8 videos to see what exactly it is like to work here. They'll watch it, they'll finish it, and then they'll write a title and description. Okay, there's 3 benefits there. One, we don't have to do that work ourselves, which saves a lot of administration time. 2, it's delegated to the right person who should actually see this. The people who are onboarding, they need as much experience as possible and as short time as possible so that they'll be able to understand what's going on. And 3, we get SEO benefits when this page becomes visited a lot and people engage in a long form content. So just by like those 3 factors, this page will start ranking higher and higher and higher. So this is an example of something that we can create, an exercise that we can create that has like a triple benefit. There's 2 benefits for us and 1 benefit for the intern. I think for, let's say, Hasbi's case, right? My idea of assigning him to work on the professional networking part is because he's working pretty closely with Aldo already on outreach, right? On product market fit. And so the essential exercise of doing that particular outreach is exactly the same as doing professional networking for UR. So I thought, okay, all right, he should probably get some more practice here. Second thing is in doing this type of work, you're getting a faster feedback cycle too as well. So if you're doing SEO work, that's a very long feedback cycle, and it might take months before the ideas really gel together. So I think also as let's say mentors, we need to find a combination of work that let's say is work that actually builds up the intern's experience, but also work that kind of gets them better at doing what they're doing. The outreach program is a form of marketing. I remember Ara came to me in the early days and she was like, "Why am I doing marketing? I'm supposed to be doing HR." I said, "Not exactly, right?" After listening to a bunch of people who have been doing, let's say, university relations really well, the ideas come to a let's say a center point. You need to find the correct audience, use the right message, right timing, the right channel that gets that through. So what I thought of is I'm optimizing actually and prioritizing this person's. It's not on the chapter mission. It fits the company mission, but it also fills the intern's skill and purpose. And it's something that I noticed also similar to Lillis that Haspy was kind of getting stuck on some of the things that he was working on, and it was because I don't think he had enough experience to actually go through and do the skill set yet. So he needed more experience on that one. Okay, let's go over to Lillis real quick. Your comments on what I've just said. Does that make sense, or is there things that we are losing because we are taking this approach?
Apart on the selection part, or
Oh,
sorry.
no, on the idea of interns should work on work that keeps them essentially engaged,
Oh,
but also learning through experience, and also has some benefit to Bukit Vista in general.
okay. Yes, I agree with that. Because actually, essentially, Ara asked me about. Have you asked about Rida's purpose on joining Bukit Vista? Actually, uh, and I think that when they work in the things that they likes and also needs, basically, not really needs. I mean, like they feel like, oh, I can do this. I'm happy. Just like but we have to control that still Bukit Vista vision and mission.
Hmm.
I mean, maybe if in the future there's so much like cross chapter and something, we have to evaluate in terms of the job description, perhaps. I mean, for example, like Tara, right? Tara is actually interested in something related to data or something like that. And she actually moves to other chapter. If in the future there's so much like that, maybe the description of the job itself should be improved.
Okay, very good, very good. Improve job description. Okay.
But I agree with that things we should keep the engagement, but still prioritizing at least to achieve the company mission.
Okay, are clear what to do. Okay, yep, and align with company mission. All right, let's go over to Bayu. Bayu, what are your thoughts?
Uh, yeah, because there's a lot of uh, thing that we have here is basically we need to discover first, or we need to try first, then that we will know, right? So
Hmm.
that would be difficult because yeah, we will always have what do you call it, like we cannot prevent anything that is will be failed, like because we need to try first. If it's failed, then we know it's failed, but we cannot see that this method is not good, or we should use that method, or that kind of thing, especially because it's related to people, or a person, actually individual person. So if that person is having a good skill, probably not having a good uh, other aspect of himself that is not supporting in this program, that kind of thing. So uh, yeah, I mean, for me, it's I will give a pretty low expectation for and especially for anyone that's new or intern basically, because yeah, I especially intern because there's no what do you call it? There's no long term commitment, so uh, I have to think twice before giving my bandwidth, especially to collaborate with interns, because I will spend like 3 months with the interns, and in the mentoring, it's good for them. It's probably good with us, but it's also costs time and energy to not doing the other things. So yeah, just need to prioritize that better, and just know the output or the outcome that we expected from doing this.
Expected outcome. Okay, all right. Good discussion, actually. This is getting into really interesting territory. So, this actually brings up a third dimension to prioritization, which is the mentor. What is the mentor supposed to get out of it, right? A few things I think are actually the true reason, one of the true reasons we're doing this is actually to develop leadership skills. As Bayu just spoke about earlier, if we don't fail enough with interns, then we don't really actually have a safe way to be leaders. The internship program is actually a beautiful way for everyone here who is an existing employee to really develop leadership skills, if you think about it. So if you do fail, you don't necessarily have to keep on living in that debt forever. At the end of 3 months, you can be like, okay, it didn't work out, and that's what it is. But also, it gives you practice because you'll notice that like a lot of people who start out early, if they're not maintained, then within that 3 month period, they have like essentially two outcomes, right? One outcome could be that they're very productive, very engaged, and the other outcome could be like they just sort of are not very engaged at all and not very knowledgeable from that particular period. So there is some leadership skills, but there's also some leadership drag, right? There's some sort of drag due to, let's say, due to the implementation. All right, this is actually a good question. We need to begin here. We need to begin in earnest. What are your views about leadership, and do you want to become a leader? Let's go over to Nadine. What are your views around leadership, and is it worthwhile for you to invest your time into developing leadership skills?
What are the what, sir?
Is it worthwhile for you to develop leadership skills, or do you see this as an opportunity to develop applicable skill sets that move your career forward?
Oh yes, yes, of course. Yeah, I feel this is worth to do for building the all the skill sets for myself in terms of leadership actually.
Okay.
Uh, because so many things that I didn't know before that I just know after joining this leadership development.
Okay. Like, what did you figure out after you joined this particular group?
Like the prioritization and then the situational leadership
Hmm.
and also the other little discussion that actually crucial.
And situational leadership. Okay. All right. Let's go over around and see how many people also get something out of it. Let's go over to Aldo. Aldo, what are your thoughts? Are you feeling like growth in any particular dimension, like in the way that Nadine described, or is this a different type of experience for you?
Yeah, of course. I think the leadership class or guild is a very good self growth and self development. Uh, and also, I think I'm going to say the same with Nadine because this is also developing the skill sets that I have and also the things that I didn't know before, and also on how to becoming a good leaders and a good mentors for someone else.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Skill sets to lead and mentor other people. Okay. Let's go to Lilith. What about you, Lilith? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think dito with Nadine. No, actually, basically terms about leadership, like the situational leadership, radical candor, and everything. And actually, regarding the intern itself, from the chapter, the BI chapter is basically we can explore in BI. We can explore many things, right? And actually, any skills can basically match with this because if they have skills like data understanding, we can develop there. Maybe for the BI itself, the internship and also the leadership is important.
Okay. All right. Cool. Let's go over to Bayou. Bayou. I think we had some discussion in the beginning about whether or not this was creating value. What are your thoughts now?
Oh, the mentorship program.
Yes, sir.
Uh, probably there is a value. The problem is we don't know what to expect. Are we just doing this, or are we expecting
Ah.
this?
Okay. All right. Let's talk about that. Probably. What do we expect? Here's what I would say. Let's ask ourselves where would we be today if we didn't have this type of discussion. Let's go to Nadine. Nadine, where do you believe you would be with Caroline today if we didn't have these type of discussions? Would you have any sense of control, or let me not lead too much, but can you imagine like sort of where the outcome could be if we didn't have, let's say, this place to compare and share thoughts and develop skills?
Okay. I think I would be a fair, you know, without this leadership development, I didn't know, I don't know much about leadership skill set, right? And so probably I would be like really bad mentor because I cannot track. I know that I supposed track, but I don't know how to track it. Like I know how I know that I need to, like escorting Caroline, but I don't know what the best way to escort her like that. So to guide her and everything. So this is kind of like the guidelines. This meeting, this discussion is kind of like the guideline for all the mentors to be the best version of the leadership of themselves like that.
Hmm.
So if we don't do this, I think probably the worst case would be like the mentor and the mentees would be not aligned. What the mentee is working is not really aligned with the vision and mission, and then they may probably don't know what to do, and even maybe they didn't give any impact in 3 months. So
Hmm.
with this discussion, I mean this leadership development things, I think this is really good for us to anticipate that, because all the problems, all the friction that we been faced, uh, uh, now we are actually talk about that and uh, uh, what is that, searching, looking for the solution for that
Hmm.
together.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Let's go over to Rizal. Rizal, is your experience here similar to Nadine, or do you have a different experience?
Yeah. For my perspective, sir, I agree with Nadine, but sometimes when I'm uh, sometimes if I have a leadership skill, I will not um, allocate my bandwidth to mentor the internship. Why? Because I already have the skill, and probably I have another things to do that lot of more important than I uh, giving mentorship for internship. Why? Because uh, first they will less apa namanya competency, sorry, they will less competent, and then they are in sort of time, right? Like 3 months. And yeah, I think I agree with Mas Bayu, because uh, when the people have a leadership skill, they will more important to develop our people that don't have a leadership skill, but not for giving mentorship for the interns, and for the new people, will be like, um let's say, Aldo is the best uh people to give a mentorship to intern, because Aldo is still new, and yeah, he is the best time to develop their leadership.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
All
that's
right.
me.
That is interesting. All right. That's an interesting perspective. All right. So it's time to develop leadership for people on with let's say with new leadership skills. Okay. All right. Let's go over to Lilith. What are your thoughts, Lilith?
Mm, basically, it's going too far. Am I right that we're discussing the leadership guilt right now? That we
Yes, it's actually that's actually a good topic, right? Which is why do we do this, and what benefit is there for us, the organization, and continuing on?
Yep. I agree that actually, the one that can be the mentor is only the beefy employee, right?
Mhm.
So, this is good to be frequent in the beginning, as you said, but afterwards, if everyone already get the basic, uh, less frequent I mean, is better. Uh, why? Because when we have the basic of leadership skill in the future, if we have more interns, then we can we know the how to optimize them basically.
Okay.
So maybe for for the beginning, we need more frequent like today, but later on we don't have to do this like maybe once a week if we already, I mean, not really advanced, but we know the basic.
Okay. Pure frequency.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's ask a question. Uh, let's go to Bayu. Bayu, do you believe that there's enough leadership culture in the company to go where we're going?
Mm, you mean leadership culture is culture to lead, or self-leading?
Everything, right? Let's just say, do we have, we can always, let's say, add more people to the company. But what we've seen in the past is if we add more people and there's not good leadership culture, there's not good, let's say, vision, mission alignment, there's not good core value adherence. Do you think that that becomes a problem over time? Or how do we overcome that? How do we not step into the same holes over and over again?
I think we should improve our uh, onboarding process. If we can fix it, then we don't need to do that every time, or yeah, basically just for someone that's new, like the Spotify video. If everyone understand that, probably they will be good in working at Spotify, right? So that's probably why the Spotify team creates that video, to make it easier for new hires to understand the culture. But yeah, I think it's also a choice. Basically, do we want people to focus on uh, like for this program, basically everyone being an HR, or the other choice is everyone being their best self, right? So yeah, if we can, basically this is, I don't know, this is the way for HR to use others resources to train new people, but we also need to think whether that people that the resources being used are uh, optimize on their work or not. So
Okay. All right.
we don't want to take too much bandwidth from everyone basically.
Okay. Okay. Also, that relates to, I think, career and development of, let's say, the current people here. Um, do you think that ultimately we're going to be let's say, is everybody here aiming to do the same skill after, let's say, a year or 2 years? Or would most people actually prefer to be leading teams to do that particular skill after a year or 2 years? Let's go around and see where we are. Rizal, where would you prefer to be over time in your career at Bukit Vista? Working on a skill or leading a team?
Basically, both of them, sir.
Okay, so a little bit of both. All right.
Yeah,
Where would
yeah,
you like to spend more of your time, actually?
yeah. First, I will prioritize skill first, and then leadership.
Okay, and second leadership. Okay, leadership second. What about Lewis? What about you? What do you think?
Mm, between skill and leadership,
Yep.
basically both.
Okay, both. Tell me why both.
Maybe because as we are now trying to choose or appoint one in the chapter as a not really leader. I mean, who leading. So leadership skill is needed to optimize each our skills and so also other skills. So both is needed.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Let's go over to Aldo. Aldo, what about you? Skill or leadership?
I think I think the same both, but I think the prioritization is to develop the skills first, then leadership second, because leadership is also needed to like at least lead ourselves.
Okay. All right. Ship to lead oneself. Okay. All right. Let's go next to Nadine.
Um, yes, both are needed. Like before we leading a team, we need to like develop our skills first. But if you ask me, in the future, in my career matrix, what do I want to spend more time to? I want to lead the team.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's see. That's. What about Bayu? Bayu, what do you want to do?
Uh, Actually, this is will go naturally. So basically, because we are problem solving. What I do at least is problem solving. So I need to lead and having the skill myself. Basically, so that is not negotiable. So the choice is whether I ask someone else to fix my problem or I fix it myself. So that's and along the way, I've been doing that both actually. So it's not really uh, what do you call it? Not really a choice. You can go with the one without another, but yeah, you have to have yeah both of them. If you want to have skill, then you need to fix your problem by yourself. Then if you lead, you are relying to other people to do that for yourself. But in our scale for now, to be realistic, I think we are mostly what do you call it? It's a process based. Everything in the company is process based. So we need the skill. We need the work. We don't have like 1,000 people to lead now. So it's yeah it's still okay to be focused on yourself and small set of leaders, for example, as long as the vision is aligned. So yeah, if I'm just imagining if everyone is leading, then I think it would be chaos like a few months ago when everyone is leading, everyone having their own theory, and basically it's not aligned. Maybe the vision is aligned, but uh, the practicality or the the action that we take is different for each people because they each have their own leadership style, but not focusing on the problem solving itself.
Okay. All right. Interesting. All right. Let's get back to the end. Oh, hey, Jabron, thank you for joining us today. So, Jabron, I think, is actually one of our new intern candidates. Jabron, where are you joining us from? Okay. All right. Let's go back to this first idea. So I guess what's happening is this, right? So as we unpack a simple question, which is which chapter should a mentee actually work on, we actually are starting to delve into this idea of priorities and where the priorities sit is where our focus needs to reflect. So we have actually seen there's different dimensions of priorities, right? There's a priority according to a mission, there's priority according to time, there's priority according to the mentee, and then there's priority according to the mentor, which is like, what do you want to actually get out of the experience too as well? I think the first thing we have to do is just to discover that there are these layers of different priorities that are there. The next thing I think is a choice, which is essentially we're going to have to choose what we want to emphasize on depending upon the particular time. So let's say, for example, Lilith has a mentee, and the mentee is not currently very engaged. One of the things I always think about in terms of leadership is if a person isn't very engaged, then that means that I'm not leading them very well at that point, right? They probably don't know what to do. They feel no autonomy. They feel no purpose, and they're definitely not going to master a particular skill set, and they're not going to have very much to say about that experience if they're not engaged. So what I always like think about when I'm leading is this person properly engaged? Are they focused on delivering the right problems, or are they at a point where they can be purposeful, autonomous, and develop mastery? Once that's been set, then I think you have essentially a person who can actually keep on going, right? They have enough, like let's say, self-contained energy to go about something else. Then we can set them on a particular mission, whether it's a project mission, a chapter mission, or a company mission. So then think about the timing, right? Is the timing urgent for a particular project? Let's say SEO for Aldo's case, Haspy's SEO project. Is that going to have particular urgent impact? Do we have the right expectation for when we expect to see the impact? Or let's say for Lilith's case, the idea of looking at Traveloka for freedom. Like, what is the time spent urgency of that? So I always try to think about, all right, so what sort of ways can I keep this particular person engaged throughout their internship process so that they can attain a skill of mastery and autonomy and purpose? Once that has been set, I figure that they are more likely to be able to succeed no matter where we put them. But pre-engagement, there is, I think, a lot of work to be done, and that's relatable to this whole thing, this process of how we actually onboard and develop people. Okay, so we've had actually, okay, we're out of time right now. It's going to go to the HAR Scrum. So some feedback today. Lilith, quick 1 minute feedback.
Today's discussion been very broad, I think, and it's basically talking about the basic of this guilt, basically. So, but maybe everyone should conclude themselves again. I mean, we don't have any conclusion today for
Right,
what
right.
kind of
It ended up
theory.
pretty open-ended, yeah?
Yeah, it's open ended.
Okay, all right, let's go to result.
Ditto with Lily, sir.
Okay, all right, let's go over to Nadine.
Okay. I think this is a good discussion about looking back to the the purpose of this guild itself. I believe that actually Jung is coaching us because he knows that maybe like me, it's I have like a very very little experience of guiding people, guiding human, which is human is so complicated, and so that's why he made this skill to make sure that we know what to do and everything. So I think this is good. And also in every meeting, I always got something. So yeah, uh, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Nadine. Over to Aldo, real quick.
I think today's discussion is like Lily said, it's open-ended. It's open-ended discussion, but for the format itself, I think it's better because we're focusing on the discussion, and for the update itself is just like a small update and a small quick update and focusing on our thread. I think the way it is, it's already good. And for the discussion, maybe like this discussion is to refine ourselves of what have we have been joining in this maybe what a month um, discussion.
Okay, very good. Last bite.
Okay, I think we need more structure for this discussion. I mean, we are discussing whether we should have this discussion or not. So that's already we don't know what to do here, right? So I think if we are going to have this meeting, we just make a format and then we talk about the matter in this format. And for anyone don't want to discuss this, then can skip this one. Basically, it's we are still deciding whether we want to have this
Oh
discussion
no,
or not.
no, but we've decided that already. I was entertaining your question of whether or not you want to have it. That was the purpose of this. So I was giving you a space to actually sort of explore that idea.
Yeah, but we haven't talked about the real challenge in leadership, right? Like, what is the case? What are the case, and then what should we do, or
Join some of
what?
the other discussions first. We've had more of these discussions where we've discussed about all the different cases. Today, the idea was I decided to explore the purpose since you brought it up. I thought it was actually pretty important to kind of like examine if people actually understand the purpose well and to focus on a purpose. On normal these discussions, we get very specifically into particular cases, as you can see in the discussion history. So it's all there. Okay, we've run out of time, but thank you very much for the feedback at the moment. Let's go into the HAR, and thank you everybody for attending the Leadership Guild today. All right, see you guys, or the Leadership Development today.